up, everybody? Cinephile Mike here. Before I dive in, I just want to say, for those of you that have been following me for a while, as someone who covers films across festivals and award seasons, I am constantly, discovering these great, incredible short films. And then I lose track of where audiences can actually find them afterwards, right? So, coming in January 2026 is Vilpa Max. They are a new streaming platform trying to change that. And this platform is created by producer and filmmaker Alejandro Vilpa, who is here with me today to talk a little bit about it. This is designed to spotlight short films from around the world. Alejandro, thank you so much for joining me, and I am really excited to talk about this.
Thank you so much, Mike. I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
So, you're launching Vilpa Max in January. What was the moment when this idea stopped being theoretical and became something you knew that you just had to build?
Yes, thank you. It's just around the corner, actually. So this idea just came up from my own experience, to be honest, as a filmmaker. Um, I just produced a short film this year, and while trying to craft all the strategy around the festivals and all that, I just realized that sometimes there's no outcome for all the short films out of the festivals, even if they win, Oscars or Cannes. So I was just thinking maybe we should, reframe this and create an environment where all this film can be or can be seen. Yeah. So that's why I decided to launch Vilpa Max, and so far I think it's having a great reaction from other filmmakers.
And what is your vision for this to make it stand out from just being, because we're surrounded by so many streaming platforms, right? Like that
Many
becomes the
options.
joke. There's music videos that joke how like sometimes it might just be cheaper to get cable. So how do you plan to set Vilpa Max apart from that to make it pop?
Amazing question. So, first off, when I decided to launch Vilpa Max, I just thought that so first off, there's like some Oscar-winning films that I really loved, and I was like, why do people don't actually know about them if they actually won the Oscars? So we decided to make or to craft Vilpa films out of a leading catalog with Oscar and Cannes winning films, and then just bring scout for new filmmakers, for independent filmmakers that right now most of them they don't know where actually to reach in order to position themselves in the industry and technically to kickstart their careers. So I mean, this came from the goal of to give the benefit to these filmmakers, but also to the audience that right now they are changing their consumption. They're consuming other formats like shorts. We have the vertical, for example, and short films is another option for this to happen. So yeah.
And so you're diving in with the big ones. Like you said, you have these Oscar-winning shorts, these Cannes-acclaimed shorts. Why was it important to, establish that level of prestige from day one?
Well, I realized that most of the beginners in this film industry, they also struggle to be heard by these top tier producers, right? So I was thinking, why don't we just make this environment equal for everybody, so that people that are independent filmmakers can be at the same level as these top tier winning films. Um in order to, of course, we have in our catalog very amazing talent that sometimes is unseen. So let's just bring it up, and so that people, to catch people eyes, and then just bring them to all the other catalog that we have.
And so you said a little bit before that, one of the goals is to bring, these emerging or newer filmmakers into this. So once you launch this, what would you say a real win looks like for an emerging filmmaker on the platform?
Great. So, I mean, for some of the filmmakers that are already working with us, normally the comments that I get is, I really didn't think that my film would be something that, people could see. Now, if we build opportunities, like international opportunities for them to be seen not in just one country, but more than one country, that will give them a badge for them to, one, keep thriving, to a sign for them to keep developing films, but at the same time a way to present themselves to other opportunities, which we know that these kind of badges already open doors in the industry. So that's the winning. The winning would be to see all of these filmmakers growing with Vilpa Max. Yeah.
Nice. Now, from your experience in production and sales and the work that you've done, what would you say is the biggest misconception that short filmmakers have about distribution?
Oh, that's a good one. So, I mean, I think I wouldn't say misconception. I would say maybe a trend almost, or the most common thing for us to think is the only outcome is festivals. I would say festival is a great and it's an opportunity that you shouldn't miss because it's a position, it's a way to position your work, a way to build relations between the industry and all that. But on the other hand, I would say that the vision, when you normally build a short film, your vision normally is not, it's just the short film. While I think it should be more than that. Either that might be a feature film, but or right now, Vilpa Max. So we're trying to gather all these learnings that we also have from the filmmakers in the industry and just build a good opportunity for them to really grow, not only to be showcased.
Nice. And now, Vilpa Max, one of the things you said that it really emphasizes international voices. So, how do you balance, cultural specificity with that global accessibility?
Good. Well, first, I mean, there's a language, of course. There's language. So we have in our catalog different backgrounds for filmmakers. We have filmmakers from the U.S. and from the U.K., but we also have filmmakers from Iran, from Egypt. So right now we have to make it global a little bit, and that's we do it with things like subtitles and things like that, but also to build a narrative. So even though they are all from different backgrounds, through our social media and through our communications, we try to make, just one single communication that involves everybody. And when we push or position one of any director, we try to be like, the same communication so that people have it in mind as a consistent message.
Nice. So, looking at your journey and your path to getting to this point, so you've worked in script development, production, distribution. Did building this platform just feel to you like a natural evolution, or was this just a big leap of faith that you were like, hey,
I think a little bit of both, to be honest. A little bit of both. Of course, it was a big risk in terms of I have never done this before. But in the other hand, I had the opportunity, and I think that's the main soul of this. In my own journey, I have had like very great opportunities. Like I've worked with these Hollywood producers where I have learned so much, and I was thinking, how do I get these learnings that I have to other filmmakers that may not have these opportunities, right? And with these, by working with these producers, I have learned and applied everything in Vilpa Max. So basically, what I did is I learned, and then I launched my own version. And now, I mean, and I'm very, beyond grateful with all of those producers that became my mentors. And somehow I'm trying to also, you know, deliver that learning to the filmmakers that I work with. We're building a community. It's not just, it's not like a cold approach to them. It's a community that we interact and we talk and we see each other.
and now looking at some of the experience you've had, so you've worked with some of like the big large scale productions with Eon and Caledonia. How
Yeah.
did working with those partners and those companies really shape your approach to championing independent cinema, which does need more attention?
Yes, a lot more, to be honest. So Caledonia was, I would say, like one of the biggest opportunities I've had. Like it really changed my vision and it changed a little bit my life in terms of, the professional path. By working with them, I had the opportunity to see how big time producers really look for opportunities. I think looking for opportunities is also a skill that you can develop. And the big producers, they have that. But also there's another thing that it's like a very high demand of filmmakers wanting to produce something. So I also understood why these big time producers also don't normally have time to review each of those things, of those films. And I just saw this gap and decided, in order not to become a competition, but to become more of a partner in the industry. So also we work with big producers right now and big distributors. We work with the biggest distributor in Middle East, which is close the partnership. And the reason of that is because we present it as partner, not really as a competition, since we have like different ways of, approach things and expertise.
Got you. So, slightly shifting gears a little bit, I want to talk about the most recent project that you did, The Undertone of David Jansen.
Johnson.
So, you produced and shot this in Prague. It was featured in Cannes production catalog. So, thinking about that and this work, what does that project represent for you creatively right now?
Well, The Undertone of David Jensen is my first formal work that I direct. So it's technically my debut as a film director. Um, it comes from my background is in writing, right? I'm a novelist, and I just jumped into the industry, and I just thought, my biggest strength is writing, so I will just like make the most of it. I think the Undertone of David Jensen represents not only like a debut for me and also like a big opportunity, because I had the opportunity to work with very interesting locations in Prague, but also opportunity for many filmmakers, since a lot of filmmakers that are emerging were working with me, and they were so talented. So I think it's going to be launched next year. I think it's going to be the echo of the Undertone of David Jansen is going to be all around the world, I would say, because my team was also international. So yeah, it represents a lot of community and opportunities.
Nice. And I love to ask this next question of first, especially of first time debut filmmakers. It's what I call the educational part of this. So now that you've directed this first project, what would you say was your greatest takeaway or best practice that you're going to take into your next project? And what would you say was your greatest learning curve or hurdle that you're like, you know what? We're going to skip that one next time.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, the greatest takeaway is, of course, all the learnings. I did this without so this was actually a big production, a very big production. And for my first short film, actually, my producer was like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Because you might not really, accomplish this." And I was like, "You know what? Let's just risk it. Let's risk it all. And if we do it, fine. If we didn't, I mean, we're still emerging, right? We're still like filmmakers. We're in the playground, and we did it. So that's the biggest takeaway, and also the people that I met and all the talent that I had the opportunity to work with. Everybody was amazing. And in the other hand, as for the biggest learning curve is, I mean, everything was a learning curve. At some point, I was learning on the fly. So of course I was directing, but at the same time, we had like this scene with 60 extras and then a group of dancers and then the violinist over there because it's about violins, and everything at the same time. So at the same time, we had, like the location, which is another element to learn how to portray or to organize everything like a clockwork almost. That's like the biggest learning curve that I think I would take away from my next um, films. Always preparation. So yeah.
Yeah. And so maybe your next one will just be a cast of two in a restaurant and that's it.
Yeah. Actually, my next one is animated. I tried not to
Ah,
do it. Yeah, I try not to do it too big in that sense. Just because I'm still, developing my next live action film. So we'll see.
so just to start wrapping up, let's project. Let's jump into the future. 5 years from now, what hope do you have? What are you hoping that filmmakers say Vilpa Max gave them that they couldn't find anywhere else?
Amazing question. I mean, of course, there's an opportunity. I think for some of the filmmakers that are working with us is a kickstart of their career. So I think this will be a milestone that will represent a whole journey in their career. I think that's the biggest thing that I would love to offer. And at the same time, we're also producers. So we really want to accomplish our first, Vilpa Max production, formally speaking, and hopefully we will be happy to work with some of these other filmmakers that right now are presenting their films because they're talent, right? If we need talent as producers, then that's also a community to have talent from. So yeah.
And if a short filmmaker is watching this interview right now, what's one thing you want them to understand about Vilpa Max before it launches?
Well, I would say um, I would like filmmakers to see Vilpa Max as a partner, as channel where they can showcase and position themselves in the industry, something that most of the filmmakers struggle to do. And at the same time, I mean, we are always open to review new films. So to all the filmmakers that are looking for their voices to be heard, they can always send, the screening links and their films to business at vilpamax.com. Sorry, business at vilpafilms.com. And yeah, we will be happy to review each of them.
Nice. Well, I'm excited because, from what you say, Filmmax isn't just about preserving great short films, yet it is there for that, but also
Yeah,
really about creating this momentum for the filmmakers behind them.
yeah,
And, as
transcending.
someone who, like, that's a lot of my brand, right? If you look at the stuff that I've done on YouTube and the festivals, I love, emerging voices, looking for that recognition. So I'm excited to see this. Alejandro, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me about it. I can't wait to see where it goes when it launches in January, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it grows.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you for this space, and I'm more than happy and excited to also see what happens with Vilpa Max. We all are part of this community now, and thank you for everything.
All right. So, folks, you'll be able to find that email address and any other pertinent information in the box in the video below. Alejandro, have a wonderful holiday, and hopefully, maybe our paths will cross again soon.
Yes, please. Thank you.